The boys' varsity golf season starts in March, when the weather is still cold and the grass is still brown. In Nassau County, Long Island, the varsity golf season starts with the local paper Newsday writing a piece about the favorite to win the Nassau County Championship. For the 2018 season, the Syosset Braves were the favorite to win the varsity golf season, and I had the honor of being the captain. About a week into practice, I sat down with my coach, who I still talk to this day and is one of the greatest mentors in my life. And I sat down with him and I spoke to him about the article. And he told me to make sure that everybody on the team didn't look too far ahead and kept their focus on one shot at a time, which is possibly the wisest information I've ever gotten from a coach to this day. As the captain, I did not know how I was going to motivate a team that had been praised so highly. And if you look into college and professional sports today, it is always the underdog that has the most motivation going into the fight. With the match season fast approaching, I did not know how I was going to motivate everybody. I figured it would just be best to let the season play its course and allow our team to get off to a start and then evaluate it from there. April came around, and by that time, our match season had already begun, and we were 2 matches into the season. We were still 2-0, but we were going into an away team's course that we had never played before, and we were all pretty nervous. The team we were playing were definitely not as good as we were, but we had already told ourselves we were going to beat them for so long now that we had convinced ourselves that it was going to be a cakewalk until we got our bell rung. The team we played had beat us so bad, I had no idea what to say to them. I couldn't even look at them on the bus ride home, if I'm being completely honest. And I know, it seems like a big exaggeration for, a high school golf match, but stuff matters, to me at least. And as the captain, I had to figure out a way to hype everyone up and let them know that this wasn't going to be acceptable. So, when we got back on the bus, I stood up and I said, everyone, after the match, we're having a team-only meeting in the locker room, and I was destined to set everyone straight and let them know that this level of focus was not tolerable if we were going to win anything. We sat on that rickety old bus for about 20-25 minutes, stopping at red lights, completely silent. Coach has nothing to say. I have nothing to say. Probably one of the worst bus rides I have ever taken in my life. And anybody who knows me and has ever played a sport with me knows I am overly competitive. And that's just how I am and how I always will be. So those people can only imagine how I was feeling at this point, losing to a team that bad, how we did. Finally, the bus rolled into Syosset High School, and I was absolutely furious. Everybody took their stuff off the bus, went to the locker room, and sat down, and I was standing outside with my coach. The last thing I remember him telling me was, please, don't go too hard on him. We got a match tomorrow. And all I remember doing from that point on was nothing. I blacked out. I must have blacked out. Absolutely fuming with rage, I stormed into the locker room and smacked the nearest locker. It sounded like a lightning bolt. It was clear to them immediately that I wasn't playing around anymore. I'm normally pretty fun and free when we're winning, and we had never lost before. At least this bad. So I had to send a message. I had to show them that this was not going to be accepted at all. If you've ever watched any movie, especially the movie Friday Night Lights about the Permian football team, you'll know that the head coach never goes easy during a halftime speech or a post-game speech when the team is just getting run around. And I took every bit of knowledge that I had from one of those movies, and I just let it fly. I used inappropriate language, I was yelling at people, I was screaming, I told them they were terrible, pretty much just making as much noise as I could, trying to get them to realize that I was really mad. And then I realized I wasn't connecting with anybody. And what I was doing was just creating a divide in the locker room. And I stopped. And like every other good coach ever, I leveled with them. And I came down to their level and I took a knee. They were all sitting, I was standing, so I took a knee. And I said to them, guys, there's a reason why we were the number one team coming in and why we're favorites to win the championship. And I told them, guys, if we're going to accomplish anything, we need to do it as a team, and we need to do it with 100% focus, and we have to do it for the person sitting next to you, not for yourself. Your motivation has to be to win it for the guy next to you. And that might be my favorite thing that I ever said in my whole entire life. I could feel the energy starting to change in the room. Everyone looked around. Everyone felt more confident in themselves. And they looked at me, and they said to themselves, you know what? He's finally leveling with us. And you know what? We're gonna pull together, and we're going to try and do this thing as a team. Our next 5 matches, we won resoundingly. And we had one more bad loss before the end of the season. But I could kind of overlook that. I was kind of happy with where we were. So we rolled into the playoffs. It's a 2-day county tournament. And after the first day, we were winning by 10 or 15. And it was pretty obvious that we were going to win. And I said to them, I said, guys, back when I sat you all down in that locker room, who would have thought we would have gotten this far? And the job isn't over. And they all looked at me and they kind of rallied around that time that I used that speech to gather everyone. And they rallied that and they realized that they already hit their lowest point. And there's no possible way that they could get any lower than they already had. And the sky's the limit. And if you ever watch sports and you feel a real momentum change and you see it in TV, you can see it in football, baseball, you can see it in hockey, feel the crowd starting to get into it, you'd know that that feeling in that locker room was exactly that. And that's the only way I can explain it. Now, I can't give myself all the credit. We had one of the best coaches in Nassau County. He won the Nassau County Coach of the Year after we won the tournament. We have the trophy in our display case now, and we have a season full of memories to thank. And one of those memories was the time that I sat everybody down and I leveled with them. And I told them that if we were going to do it, we were going to do it as a team.